Nature Deficit Disorder by Moreno-Botana. My thesis for this project is looking at Richard Louv's theory, nature deficit disorder. How does outside play and time with nature, or the lack thereof, affect our children? So who is Richard Louv? Richard Louv is an American nonfiction author. Although he has written many books and publications, Louv is best known for coining the term nature deficit disorder in his book, Last Child in the Woods, Saving Our Children from Nature Deficit Disorder. Louv's research on this term has been responsible for influencing and inspiring many campaigns for programs to get children outside. Nature deficit disorder is well researched and is something that everyone, especially teachers, parents, and health professionals, should be aware of. Here is what Louv's book looks like if anyone would like to go out and find it. So, what is a nature deficit disorder? Louv explains nature deficit disorder as the human cost of alienation from nature, among them diminished use of the senses, attention difficulties, and higher rates of physical and emotional illness. Some of the causes of nature deficit disorder are parental fear. Many parents are more afraid than they used to be about strangers and letting their children explore alone outside than older generations of parents used to be. More electronics and social networks are other contributors to nature deficit disorder. Children now have access to an increasing amount of electronics, such as video games, computer games, internet, television, iPads, iPhones, and so on. Many also have access to social networks such as Facebook. Access to all of these technologies can easily distract children and keep them inside. It has been estimated that children ages 6 to 11 spend about 30 hours a week looking at a TV or computer monitor. Some other causes include living places where it is not easy to access the outdoors. Modern society is another huge contributor to nature deficit disorder. Louv explains in his book that countless communities have virtually outlawed unstructured outdoor nature play, often because of the threat of lawsuits, but also because of a growing obsession with order. Many parents and kids now believe outdoor play is verboten, even when it is not. Perception is 9/10 of the law, he says. What are some of the possible effects of nature deficit disorder, and how can time playing outdoors help? The two effects I want to focus on today are obesity and difficulty focusing and/or ADHD. First, let us focus on obesity. According to the website Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the percentage of children aged 6 to 11 years old in the United States who were obese increased from 7% in 1980 to nearly 18% in 2010. Similarly, the percentage of adolescents aged 12 to 19 years who were obese increased from 5% to 18% over the same period. Other studies show that obese children are at high risk for cardiovascular disease, they are more likely to have prediabetes, and they are more likely to have problems with depression and low self-esteem. Another interesting fact is that obesity coincides with the greatest rise in organized sports in history. Here are some of the ways in which outdoor play can help to lower obesity and depression. Exercise. Exercise and natural endorphins can make you feel good and energized and raise your self-esteem. And of course, you can lose weight through exercise that you get from being engaged in outdoor play. Also, it's important to make use of the endorphins from exercise and play as a natural medicine for depression. Natural endorphins provide many of the same benefits of prescribed depression medications, and there is no danger of addiction, and it's free. ADHD and lower focus ability are other things that nature deficit disorder can enhance the effects of. According to Louv, nearly 8 million children in the U.S. suffer from mental disorders, and ADHD is one of the more prevalent ones. Children with this syndrome are restless and have trouble paying attention, listening, following directions, and focusing on tasks. They may also be aggressive, even antisocial, and may suffer from academic failure. Between 2000 and 2003, spending on ADHD for preschoolers increased 369%. Both boys and girls are diagnosed with ADHD, but approximately 90% of the young people placed on medication, often at the suggestion of school officials, are boys. The drugs prescribed for ADHD, such as Adderall, share many of the pharmacological effects of amphetamine, methamphetamine, and cocaine. Many feel that stimulant medications, though necessary in many cases, are overprescribed, perhaps as much as 10 to 40% of the time. How can time in nature help symptoms of ADHD and help to increase focus ability? Louv discusses that exposure to nature may reduce the symptoms of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder and can improve all children's cognitive abilities and resistance to negative stresses and depression. He also explains that nature may be useful as a therapy for attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, used with or when appropriate, even replacing medications or behavioral therapies. So how can we prevent nature deficit disorder? Encourage outdoor play. Force. I know it sounds harsh, and I'm sure your children will put up a fight or several, but take away the iPads, turn off the TV, limit internet access, and push them out the door. As they learn to reconnect with their creativity and appreciation for exploration and play, or find it for the first time, the fight should get better and less frequent. You can also create fun outdoor activities or games. And also try and be the example. Get outside and show your children just how fun it is to be in nature. Here are just a few possible activity ideas to get your kids outside. Remember to keep their interests and their ages in mind when creating these activities. Set up an area with raw materials for your children to build things with. Set up water manipulative tables outside. Force your children outside. Set up flashlight tag. Help your kids build a tree house or just give them the materials. Of course, age matters in that. Give children materials to build a fort. Create science explorer kits with magnifying glasses and butterfly catchers and bug boxes. Name the sounds you hear on a nature walk as you walk around as a family. Here are some examples of a tree house and an outdoor fort. Encourage exploration. You can of course tell your children to get outside and explore, but you can also make fun explorer kits as I mentioned before. Also, we all know the work it takes to clean up a dirty and muddy child, but there's so much fun to be had and things to explore in water, sand, and mud. Let your kids get dirty. Try to remember that although your children are greatly influenced by the media and their peers, they look up to and learn so much from you as a parent or caregiver. Set an example of what it is to love, appreciate, and respect nature. Go out as a family, comment on the beauty around you, and have fun. If you would like more information about nature deficit disorder, feel free to check out these links to some other videos. Thank you so much for watching, and remember to get your children out in the sun for a dose of healthy fun.